Welcome. You're listening to Voice in the Dark. Creak. David was awoken by the sound of creaking wood coming from somewhere in the house. He had gone to sleep alone that night, but the feeling of solitude left him the moment his eyes opened. He was used to the normal house sounds of pressures and stresses breaking themselves occasionally, as any building does. But something about this creak made his body rip him from his dreams. This creak. There was weight behind it. It happened only once, though. Now there was silence. It was pitch black. Seconds passed, and goosebumps climbed their way up David's back, accompanied by an icy chill running through his spine. His mind was fixed on a single thought, just 3 words. Something is there. Lying in bed, naked, wrapped in sheets, defenseless and devoid of any object to use as a weapon, David's only hope was that this creak was an anomaly. He pictured the layout of his house, the stairway leading up to a lone hallway that dead-ended at his bedroom door. There are 13 steps. The 4th step is the noisiest. It always creaks when I step on it. David lay frozen, not daring to move a muscle, rustle his sheets, and break the silence. He listened intently, his heart pumping viciously in his chest. He held his breath as his ears grew hot. The silence felt unnatural now. David suddenly became aware of the ticking of his wristwatch on the nightstand. The sound of the second hand shifting did nothing to ease his panic state. It made it worse, in fact. It had been close to a minute now. Beside David's mind running wild with thought, nothing around him had changed since the creak first sounded. Now doubt started to creep into David's head. With a minute passing, and having nothing more follow the sound, perhaps the house's natural state was the culprit after all. Right behind the doubt, a sense of relief began to surface. Now the rationalizations began to filter their way through David's thoughts. This is silly. What's more likely? A home invader or a loud house? How often do people break into houses nowadays anyway? Yet, David still didn't want to move his body. He remained perfectly still. Despite rationalization, gut feeling kept him motionless. Moving would somehow make the weight behind the creaking step come true. But he couldn't hold this forever. He gave himself 1 more minute, and then he concluded that his gut was wrong on this one. He closed his eyes, and he felt his worry start to leave him. As his tired state began to come back, David stated aloud, "Be quiet, house." The sound of footsteps climbing the stairs immediately followed in quick succession, and David clutched the bed sheets, screaming in absolute terror as the creaks of the floorboards raced towards his bedroom door.